Campers, it's me, Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees. From Friday the 13th, I'm here with AJ, and he's got the juiciest slice ready for you. It's dripping with blood. Jason never dies.
What makes a horror film kill memorable, terrific, even in some way profound or poignant? Let's explore. Thanks for checking this out. If anything about it trips your fancy, please like, subscribe, and share.
Oh, yes.
Without further ado,
Are you okay?
Andy Barkley, after 2 previous run-ins with Chucky the Killer Doll, has been shuffled through the foster system and has landed in a rather draconian military school.
What happened? Shelton, that's what happened. Shelton and his goddamn lackeys.
On day 1,
Thank you, I'm fine. I'm Andy.
he becomes acquainted with another bullied and marginalized young man,
Whitehurst. Harold Aubrey for the record.
who gives him the 411.
You must be new. Otherwise, you know they don't tolerate any form of individuality here. Certainly nothing so personal as a first name. Yeah, right, I forgot.
And makes the situation very clear.
Welcome to hell, Barkley.
Evocative cut. Whitehurst is the target of the aforementioned wrathful and mean-spirited cadet Lieutenant Colonel Shelton.
You are without a doubt the most pathetic thing I have ever seen!
With a commanding officer intent on making his life purgatorial.
Wouldn't you agree? I asked you a question, Nimrod!
Whitehurst is left in the unenviable position of defending himself against someone unmistakably out to not only get him, but squash him like a bug, and make him dread his every waking moment.
No, sir! I don't agree, sir! Are you contradicting me, you sorry-ass sack of shit?
Considerate enough to not want to see the new guy ranked out.
Better finish unpacking, Barkley. Shelton's notorious for surprise inspections.
He represents the treaded upon and flattened, and while willing to risk his already lowly status to help others, basically accepts his underling underdog role.
What are you doing? What's it look like? I'm polishing Shelton's shoes.
Lovely, the guy's a little different, so he gets stuck with grunt work in his little free time.
What makes you polish his shoes? No, I offered out of the kindness of my heart.
But he demonstrates his true level of respect for Shelton's authority. The camp barber, Sergeant Botnick, a bit of a low-level Sweeney Todd type with no motive for his cruel actions beyond personal enjoyment.
Whitehurst, you are, without a doubt, the sorriest excuse for a soldier to ever disgrace these walls.
For no evident reason beyond Whitehurst's inherent nerdiness gives the constantly besieged young man the business. Once again, seemingly for his own pleasure.
Face it, you're not cut out for this life.
Questioning every stratum of his character and worthiness.
Why don't you do yourself a favor and get the hell out of Kent?
Yeesh, Whitehurst really can't catch a break.
If I had any choice in the matter, I would, sir.
For his trouble, Sergeant Botnick gives him something of a love nip to finish out his cut.
Smartass. Presto. You're bald.
No sooner than Whitehurst skitters away without another word, Botnick discovers Chucky, and for reasons decides it's a good idea to give the ostensibly inanimate doll a buzz cut.
Presto. You're dead.
Walking in on Chucky's handiwork,
I just forgot.
Whitehurst gets the absolute biggest shock of his young life. Just in time for the annual War Games.
Lieutenant Colonel Sheldon, who command the blue team.
Making his way to the blue team,
The objective is simple. To capture the other team's flag, bring it back here safely to base.
for someone experiencing an existential crisis, seeing Chucky would be the ultimate monkey wrench thrown into what he knows to be reality. He's holding himself together fairly well, considering.
May the best team win. Good luck, men and women.
Let's be honest, some would be rendered stark raving mad.
Nice of you to join us.
Whitehurst just looks like he took a hard one below the belt and needs the full 5 minutes.
Looks like Bonnick's in a pretty bad mood today. What's wrong?
Nothing.
His obvious agitation doesn't go unnoticed by Andy,
Nothing's wrong. I'm fine. Nothing's wrong.
who confronts him.
You saw Chucky. Don't whip out on me now, Whitehurst. I need your help. That kid needs your help.
But working through some denial, can you blame him? He saw a living doll slaughtering a man very bloodily. Whitehurst stands firm.
Didn't see anything. I didn't see anything at all.
At sack time, persistent Andy solicits the distressed young man's help in preventing Chucky from getting to the boy with whom he wants to play hide the soul, which requires locating the spot where the red team bivouacked.
Are you crazy? You'll never find them.
But Whitehurst is restricted in acting not just by his fear of Chucky.
Want to bet? Swipe this from Shelton's tent. He sent out a reconnaissance mission right before we pitched camp.
But the weight of many rules and regulations.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Earlier, Chucky switched paint rounds for live ammunition.
This ought to slow the pricks down.
Ensuring the war games
Now just sit back and watch the sparks fly.
will be a real blast this year, which leads to exactly what the scheming doll intended. Something to which Chucky can actually relate.
Shoot him in the heart!
While Andy is being blamed for Chucky's bad behavior,
You did this, didn't you? You sick son of a bitch! I'm gonna kill you!
our killer doll realizes his trick only worked to an extent, so a little frustrated there was only one casualty, not the full-scale battle with many falling bodies he imagined, and wanting to up the carnage at least tenfold, hurls a live grenade into the fracas. Whitehurst's whole life coming down to this moment. He's the only one to notice the deadly explosive. With mere seconds to calculate, to act, in a split instant he makes the most pivotal decision of his existence. What will be the last, and does the noblest, boldest, and most humane thing possible, literally jumping on the grenade. Absorbing the tremendous blast of shrapnel, he might have the guts to act, but since those guts aren't made of polycarbonate, acrylic, and insulated glass, the explosion ends him almost instantly. A hero able to display the absolute height of bravery in his final act, despite the claims of his many naysayers, Whitehurst, Harold, was maybe the best of them all.
This is Whitehurst.
When an exit exemplifies the nobility, goodness, and decency of the human spirit, while also being a display of ruthless brutality, it's not only extraordinary, but a lesson in the horrors of evil, sacrilege, and wickedness, but also honor, decency, and true valor.
What?
Harold was the nerdy guy on the outside looking in, at least in regard to many aspects of his life, but that didn't change facts. He was resoundingly good in his heart and soul. As if there were a sign on his back, poor treatment was a constant, yet that didn't dampen the light of his own spirit. He was a class act, a kind and decent young man who knew his value despite only a few around him recognizing the same. Part of that value was distinguishing that even if it comes at the cost of the ultimate sacrifice, what's right is right. I don't think he jumped on the grenade just to save those whom he cared about, but because it was the right thing to do. Because when he was stripped of everything in that instant, and all that remained was his integrity, and he had to decide whether to flee or act bravely, he was willing to die to heroically uphold his values by doing the right thing. Until presented with the flames, You have no idea if you can run into the inferno. And in that, not only was Harold willing to step into and embrace the blaze, but burn in it too. The ultimate trial by fire, if that was what it took. Chucky is diabolical to the core, and it seems doubtful he ever considered someone would act so nobly. So Harold's selfless act had to be a real snub, maybe even an affront or personal insult. Yep, not the best dude but always good for a laugh. Chucky's Mr. Thrills and Chills, far scarier than he often gets credit for, despite a more than respectable kill count demonstrating a wide array of killing techniques.
Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
But loyalty, at least at this point in the series, his knowledge of that wouldn't fill a thimble.
Don't leave me, God, no!
A good question is who among Harold's contemporaries would have, could have, in that instance made the same valiant choice. Embracing death, even in the commission of a noble sacrifice, is no easy undertaking. And even those trained to confront danger too often shy away from meeting the face of the Reaper head on. Just because Harold wanted to keep a low profile and stay off the radar didn't mean he was spineless or without heart. Even though he didn't want to fight didn't mean he was weak. The metrics of a man comprise much more than the bluster, pomp, and machismo that typify the male stereotype. Harold was far from a manly man, in no way someone who would be called an alpha, whatever that means. Personally, whenever I hear someone talking about being an alpha, I hear only insecurity. Because if someone truly illustrates what that term is supposed to mean, they wouldn't feel the need to advertise.
I apologize for nothing!
Harold proves real strength withstands, grows, and prospers, even if confined to the shadows. He was a testament to loyalty, to his friends, to himself, to the military ideal. And he didn't even want to be there, soldiering noticeably not his thing. But that didn't matter. He held himself to the higher standard the military, at its best, represents. True strength isn't found in aggression, cruelness, or dominating others. In fact, true strength is found in the exact opposite, in gentleness, kindness, and liberating others, especially when you are in the physically advantageous position or have the higher rank.
It's definitely you.
This episode was specifically geared towards your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete in honor of his birthday. Anyone who knows Uncle Pete knows his favorite of the tentpole horror franchises is the Child's Play series. So of course that's the well I plucked from to select an extraordinary exit, and I think I made an appropriate pick in the different but honorable Harold Whitehurst. A veteran with a lot of heart, Uncle Pete is the type to sacrifice himself for others, and that's saying something, since he has a lot to live for. A beautiful wife, successful children, an enviable comic book collection, a distinguished military career in his wake, a well-outfitted cell in his basement, enough Child's Play paraphernalia, keepsakes, and collectibles to make Brad Dourif blush, an eclectic friend group of rogues and vagabonds, and a pretty nifty YouTube channel besides. Anyhow, happy birthday, Uncle Pete. I hope it's a great one.
What do you think?
Well, I've about reached the end of the rope, so I won't leave you dangling. Thanks for humoring my ramblings. Please share any refutations, opinions, accusations, japes, or other ideas in the comments below. And please join me for whatever I'm up to next time. Bye now!
Bye, creepy man! Keep it creepy!
He's a weird guy.
Sayonara, suckers!